What's up everyone, MK Tom Brady here. In this video, we are going to talk about Ermac. And spoiler, Ermac is, and I'm not just saying this, really freaking cool. And before I get into that, I do want to say they did discuss certain changes that they're doing with the game. A lot of the stuff was pretty vague, and we're going to have to wait for the full patch notes to really get that stuff in detail and correct detail. But one thing they did say was that crossplay would be coming to King of the Hill in this patch. So in just one day, tomorrow, everyone can play King of the Hill crossplay, which means a lot of these tournaments that are PS5 exclusive, all you guys on Xbox and PC can join every single tournament. So it's really cool to finally being able to bring everyone together in the online tournament scene. Now on to Ermac. Ermac is by far one of the absolute coolest and most original and freestyle designs you will ever see in a character. I mean, everything he has so many applications. He's not just one-dimensional. Like, he can do a move that puts him airborne, levitate, cancel off of it, and then go into a combo from there, or use it in cancel on block into block pressure. And he also has options while airborne as well. So it's really cool, like how freestyle he is. He's also got he's got this move, and this is just some of the originality of the character, where you could really see that like people really thought about this. Like, here's this move here, right? This is like a specter stance or a soul stance, whatever they call it. And while it lasts quite a while, as you can see, while in this mode, if he's hit, he only loses meter and not health. So say you're low on life, you got 3 bars, you activate that, you lose bars, not health. Also, just again to keep it creative and freestyle and not very linear, well, what happens if you're hit and you're in this mode and you've got like 3 bars or 2 bars and you only want to lose 1 bar? Well, while you're being hit, you can say, you know, I actually have a decent amount of life here. I'll sacrifice 1 bar, and then when that 1 bar is gone, I will exit out of this mode and lose the rest of the combo damage as health. So decision making is also very important, and how those decisions get made are in the hands of the player. It's not a straight line as most of the characters are in this game, even those that are actually really good. His teleport is really good because he can do it grounded, or he can appear airborne right in front of you. So again, if you're blocking expecting the grounded version, he does it right above you. Then up block obviously makes this a scrubby meta because up block is so easy. Different discussion for a different day. But he does give you multiple options. So this way you're just never bound to one option. There's a lot of creativity and freestyle. He's also got this kind of stomp move. And I think it goes full screen. And when you EX it, soul hands come under your feet and grab you for a capture move for a combo from full screen. So he's got a lot of ways that he can be played. And you can definitely tell, especially with his levitate and a lot of that block pressure he can put on you, he's not going to be a poke, down 1, backdash, throw, string, stagger. He's going to be very original in how he does things and have his own game plan and have a lot of ways to do that game plan. So like I said, it's not just about being good, because if you look at a character like someone like Raiden, while a good character, is very like one-dimensional. Storm cell, storm cell, storm cell, storm cell. There's no room for creativity, no room for expression. It's just going to be straightforward. And here's that stomp move here, and you'll see when he does the EX that the souls come out of the ground, the hands come out of the ground and grab your feet for a capture. Just again, like, just such a cool freaking character, man. But like I was saying, like a character like Raiden, there's no room for deviation. It's storm cell, storm cell, storm cell, storm cell, done. That's it. Just very linear, and that's probably considered one of the top 2 characters in the game. Maybe you might put Peacemaker over him. But in general, Ermac is where we want characters to be. Now, Ermac also answers a very important question. Why is Ermac like this? And pretty much nobody else. Like, Ermac seems awfully complete because, like, he looks like, if you watch this video here, you would say this character is a standalone character. He would be good in this game even without the assist. Why? The answer right here, my friend. So Dynasty did a video a couple of days ago, which shows the original select screen and answers the question, who was the last character that is now, you know that MK Dragon slot right below Reptile? Well, in the original select screen, that slot wasn't empty, and there was an extra character on the select screen. So what happened to that character? That's always been the question. And in the music CD came out for the game, so a song for each of the characters. And they had a picture of the original select screen. This is probably beta select. It's obviously a beta select screen, and Ermac was set to be one of the original characters. So they probably took this picture when the game was near completion. And, you know, obviously they put everything together. It took several months. And then when they released it, they never went back to get it, a more accurate select screen. So this shows that Ermac was originally one of the day one characters. And to me, it's not about, if this was, day one content, now they're selling it to us. No, I don't care about that. That's not a big deal to me at all, because I don't care if it takes you extra time to get it right and to complete it. But what that shows us is Ermac was ready 7 months ago. And then they gave him 7 more months of thought and development. Look at the difference between Ermac and any other character, really, maybe beside Peacemaker, and even Peacemaker to some extent. You can tell one character got 7 more months of dev time, and the rest of them are plain Jane, quick, slapped in the game, never gone back and revisited and thought of again. This is probably how all the characters would have turned out if the game got 7-8 more months of dev time. So if the game was coming out next month, if this was a May of 2024 release date, more than likely this game would be freaking awesome. But instead we just get Ermac, and we see this is what they all could have been and should have been. Now, many of you, like myself, will say, well, why don't they go back and actually complete the game and do this for all the characters? Because they're NetherRealm. NetherRealm is like that employee who will never do any work unless the boss is there watching. They will pretend to work unless the boss is directly there to see it gets done. They will always do the least amount of work possible. So these other characters, a new move. So look at Ermac, and 3 other characters got a new move. And then look at Ermac. Ermac is, day one Ermac, I promise you, would be a shell of what he is right now. And I'm positive they didn't just say, give him a new move, and then he's done. No. They really thought long and hard about what to do with this character to really make him really original. And then there's the rest of the cast. Oh, by the way, Ermac does have a full screen fatal blow. Which, what are you doing, NetherRealm? What the hell are you doing? Where in your brain does it say, that's good, a full screen fatal blow? What are you doing? What are you doing? They just said, what, Ermac is a really good idea. To balance it out, let's throw in a really bad idea. And here's the most heartbreaking thing. You look at the last 2 DLC characters, Ermac and Peacemaker, they're probably the 2 best. And you can see a clear difference between characters that had day 1 dev time versus characters that had 6 and 7 more months of dev time. Now, people, of course, say, well, Peacemaker should be nerfed. Nerf him! And when Ermac comes out, people are going to say he's cool, and after 1 or 2 weeks, Ermac should be nerfed. Nerf him! Because the other characters are so plain Jane. When you put in a character who can play just fine even without the cameo, then introduce the cameo, they seem so far above a character who received no dev time after day 1. So almost all these characters are very incomplete, and then we got a complete character right here. Ermac is so cool that not only can he could be played awesome as a 1v1 character, so you have a lot of freestyle there, and the freestyle doesn't just stop at how he can be played. Because he can be played in so many different ways, it also extends to the cameo you can pick. he more than likely will not just be locked into one cameo. And it will be a clear difference as to how all these cameos interact with him, because he can be played in so many different ways. You can't say that for the rest of the cast. And that is what is so disappointing. Will NRS go back to the rest of these characters here? No. Because, like I said, you know the employee at work who will do nothing unless the boss is around watching? That's NetherRealm. You look, as a Sub-Zero player, I'm a little disappointed as well, because I know people are going to say, but he got Chameleon dough. He got... All right, whatever. We're not getting into that argument right here, because I'm going to address that here in a second. But but there's one thing I do want to talk about, because I know Sikander did mention it here, how characters like Quan Chi's portals have no cooldown. Peacemaker's shield has no cooldown. Hold on, I didn't want to go through the whole slideshow. So Quan Chi's portal has no cooldown. Peacemaker's shield has no cooldown. Kenchi's Sento has no cooldown. Even something that's not broken, Shao Kahn's axe has no cooldown. And you can go across the game. Storm Cell has no cooldown, right? All these, there's no cooldown anywhere there. And yet for some reason, the clone has a cooldown of 5 seconds. Like, what are you doing? And it wasn't even that way in the beta. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I know someone's going to say, but what about that chameleon, though? What about that chameleon? So listen, again, it just goes back to more boring. It's not about good or bad. It's about the game is boring. Everyone knows Raiden's really good. People don't say, oh, I'm so excited to play Raiden. Combat did a video where he's like, yeah, I'm kind of hella bored when I play Raiden. And, he really hasn't changed much since the first day of the game, really. Okay, well, that's pretty much like everyone here. And all Sub-Zero does is day one stuff. So, okay, you have Chameleon, right? So you can do like attack into this, overhead or low into this, into Chameleon. Okay, so I can make moves safe with Chameleon. Sub-Zero isn't the only one that can do that. If I go with Katana here, so let's start with Katana. I did the wrong one. Let's see, player 1. Chameleon. It's on the bottom. So Katana, right? What can you do? Oh, full screen move so for a combo, or if they block it, it becomes safe. Oh, full screen move into assist to make move safe. That sounds like every character in the game tries to do that. That's not a Sub-Zero thing. That's make them generic like everybody else. Oh, what about Melina? Oh, Melina. Let's not forget about Melina. Oh, yeah. Overhead. Low first for the combo. But every character with a low can do this and this. I got it. Or what about instead of low overhead, double low into ambush? Ooh. But any character that has a low can do Melina overhead or low into Melina overhead. Every single character in the game that has a low. Every single one. So, again, makes them very generic. So I don't care. I'm not here to debate, is that a top 10 team or not? I don't care. It's very generic. No one denies Raiden Kano is a top 10 team. But does anybody say, yo, Raiden and Kano? Man, I can't even sleep. I'm so excited when I watch Raiden and Kano. Or when I play Raiden and Kano, man, I am so hyped because of all the storm cells I can do. No, you fall asleep. That's the majority of the game. And then you see Ermac. And you're like, wow, this is really freaking cool. I don't understand. And I'm just mentioning Sub-Zero because I'm a Sub-Zero player. But I don't understand why they don't just say, okay, look, Ermac, 7 more months of dev time. Let's just take the rest of the cast and do the same thing. But no, what's going to happen is the community is going to say, well, Ermac is more complete. The rest of the cast is a day one cast. Nerf Ermac. Nerf Peacemaker. And then maybe they will nerf Ermac and Peacemaker, and then every character in the game will still do down one throw. Let's not forget, right? Steal your turn. Oh, ready? How about this? Oh, I did an attack. You want to take your turn? Oh, turn stealing meta. Poke, 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 poke. Backdash throw. Let's not forget this. Let's never forget all of these things here. And the same thing with this is kind of how the game is played. Poke, 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 poke. And then, don't forget, like, when you have them in the corner, where you should be, like, doing, like, the most kind of, like, pouring it on. Let's not forget, once again, one of my favorite sayings ever, poke, 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 poke. Then, once we cry enough about Ermac and Peacemaker, they'll all be doing that. And what a fun time we'll all have. That's why Ermac is very encouraging, while at the same time very discouraging. And I just don't know what the holdup is on the rest of the game and characters. But we don't have the patch notes yet. Hopefully I'm wrong and we get a massive patch tomorrow. We'll just have to stay tuned and find out. Let me know your thoughts. As always, stay tuned for more content.